Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our presentation this evening. My name is Bobby Smith. I am a vice president with Powur. We're excited to have you here. It's a very special night. We've got some very special guests, and we want to get right to the information and highlight and showcase what we're all about here. We're going to cover tonight very briefly, very simply, who we are as a company, our model, our game-changing model for solar, and the solutions that we brought to the marketplace that we've innovated. And our goal here is when we're done tonight that you would join our company, be a part of our mission and vision and how we're going to adapt clean, renewable energy. You know, when you talk about our company, I think we look at great companies, you look at their management team. We have assembled a team of experts from the solar field, from marketing, from procurement, from customer support, accounting, solar sales, and a most recent addition to help take our company public, our new COO. It's just an extraordinary group of individuals. You'll get to meet one of them in a moment. The backbone of any great company is a great team. Taking a look at our company, you know, you're hitting us at a great time. You know, it's one thing to have a good idea. It's another thing. Starting in 2014 with our CEO, Jonathan, you'll meet, we partnered with the largest solar company in the world, Solar City, Tesla. You've heard about them. We saw the challenges that Solar City was having. Basically, we're the answer to that challenge. They were spending too much money for what they were trying to accomplish, in essence. We moved past them. We signed contracts with 100 of the top solar companies in the United States and internationally. So if you're looking at Powur tonight, just remember, we've been vetted by the largest and most respected solar companies in the United States of America. You'll meet one of them tonight. We became the fastest company to raise 1.4 million online in just a matter of weeks. We had to shut it down. So again, proving how the world was reacting to our model. We grew up to over 5,000 representatives that joined to be a part of our company on our Facebook page where people can say anything. You know, a few quarters ago after one of our meetings, we came together with an idea. What would it do? What would it take to completely change the industry, to put together a model that would not only invite the real estate professionals and the contractors and HVAC and everybody involved in the industry, but to get the best solar talent in the industry that we could put together the only fully transparent cost of goods model in the industry today, combined with other assets that would make us the only logical choice for any entrepreneur from any business segment, and particularly solar professionals, to come join our company. You know, the core values is something that we're really proud of. You know, we do find a way to get things done. I'll go the softer side. We serve our community. Most of you know that we're available pretty much 18 hours a day, you know, almost 7 days a week. We have lives and family and prayer and workout and everything that you would hope that great people are doing. We've put systems in place and a culture in place that is, we don't think it's been seen, certainly in the solar industry and not in many companies. It's a great way to wake up in the morning and be a part of something special. And the thousands of people that communicate with us on Facebook and various channels have all bought into this way of life and what we're doing. And they're very excited about the way we run our company, our core competencies, our affiliation with the Pacham Alliance, and exactly what we stand for as a company. You know, our business model, you know, we believe really that there's two key people in the chain of solar, and one of those is the customer. The customer must have an absolutely pristine experience when solar. There are always things that can happen when you're messing with somebody's roof. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that that customer is going to go online and say, I got a great deal, and I really enjoyed my installation. Those people did the right thing, and I'm saving money, and the value of my home is going up, and I'm happy, and that's important to us. The other person that we feel has been neglected in the chain has been the sales professional, the solar sales professional riding the solar coaster, not making the commissions they could make, commissions getting cut, payments are slow, not having all the advanced techniques and technology that they could have at their disposal. And we've changed all that. We've put together a package that really just sings, and we're very excited about where we are today. So again, our company was founded again in 2014. So again, we've been doing this for a while. And the gentleman I want to introduce you to right now as a lead-in is our CEO, Jonathan Budd. Jonathan went to the rainforest with our co-founder. They had a vision of a better world. Jonathan saw the devastation there, had an awakening there, and knew that when he came back, he was going to put all of his talents towards a better, cleaner world with a little baby at home and now 2 little babies at home. And my goodness, the way we've seen the earth shift and the changes shift, even over the last 4 or 5 years, has almost been astounding. All of us have the privilege of working with Jonathan. His business acumen is sometimes staggering. His work ethic is, you cannot compare. But the ingenuity, the creativity, and the complete comprehension of an industry that he knew nothing about, and I would venture to say he knows more than 99% of the CEOs running solar companies in the world today. And it's just an honor to go to work with him every day and know what he stands for and what he believes in and how he is driving the force of changing the solar industry forever. With that, I give you our CEO, Mr. Jonathan Butt.
Mr. Smith, thank you so much. I'm loving this dichotomy of my office background and then David's because I've got the gong, I've got the Buddha, and I have some crystals. And then David's got Thanos, and he's got the glove that hold the world. And I think that's when you know you have a good partnership. You know, you represent all the different sides. So I'm super excited to be here tonight. I'm super excited that we've got David on the line as well. For many of you who are checking in for the first time, Titan is one of the most important partners, maybe quickly becoming the most important partner that we have on our platform. And I think we're really excited to do tremendous things. And we're going to dive in with David in a minute and talk about the future of solar and the future of Titan and the future of Powur plus Titan. You know, before we get there, though, I just want to briefly share a little bit about the vision of this company. You know, watching Bobby kind of sum up our entire 5-year timeline in like 3 sentences kind of gave me PTSD a little bit because it was hilarious to see, you know, one line, hey, we partnered with Solar City, we did this, we did that. But actually, every one of those pivots was like years of blood, sweat, and tears, and just ridiculously hard work. And our team, you know, doing the nitty-gritty work of business model innovation and testing model after model after model to really nail, you know, what is the thing that's going to unlock the most prosperity, the most success, and the easiest path for solar entrepreneurs and solar sales consultants to really succeed. And what hasn't changed about our company in 5 years, what has not changed a bit, is the actual purpose, the reason why we do every single thing we do. And it can be summed up like this. Number 1, we want to return power back to the people. I don't believe that the world's wealth should be consolidated in the hands of a tiny little group of energy companies. I believe that that wealth should be distributed. It should be a decentralized economy of wealth through energy production. And I see solar as a primary way to do that. And by returning power back to the people, meaning we become the energy companies and you become the energy company of the future to participate in the trillions of dollars that is changing hands every year in energy, that's going to change the world. That's going to put a lot more power back in the hands of the people and away from utility companies, utility lobbyists, energy companies, and energy lobbyists, which have really built a system that mainly keeps them in power, and that's pretty much it. And then number 2, we need to decentralize. We really need to just change the freaking world, guys. I mean, the energy that we're producing today is not the energy that is the future of mankind. You know, mankind needs to operate off of clean, renewable, sustainable energy. That is the only thing that makes sense. Otherwise, you have a timeline to when the other energy forms are going to expire. And nobody can say exactly when that time is, but they're going to expire. It's a commodity. There's only so much of it. It disappears unless we solve the challenges of producing energy through technology, which is constantly innovating, which is renewable, sustainable, then eventually society can't go on. So, this is really, as far as I'm concerned, one of the most important industries that any human being could be working in on the face of the planet today, for those two reasons. Solve the environmental challenges and the societal challenges of being completely dependent on fossil fuels, and return power back to the people. And the best way we could figure out how to do that was really by creating an opportunity for you to achieve all of your personal goals and your financial goals through a vehicle that really gives you lifestyle freedom. And I'm not going to go into all the details of the model because Charles and Bobby are going to get into that. But suffice it to say, we want people on our platform able to sell solar, present solar, and see some of the biggest commissions in this industry and earn passive residual income, whether they live on a beach in the Galapagos Islands, which Andy Smith just got back from and sold 7 projects while he was vacationing for 3.5 months in Galapagos, or whether or not you want to be the person that, is the face of solar in your community. The point is, however you want to live your life, that's what the Powur platform is for. This is not checking into a job. This is not some boss telling you what to do. This is us empowering you to go out there, change the world, to make the biggest commissions you've ever made in your life, to develop skills that are assets that are going to allow you to set yourself up financially, maybe forever, and to do it as part of a phenomenal team that's got a vision and a mission that is inspiring, that a lot of people can plug into and really receive extraordinary benefit from. That's what Powur's about. That's what we're here to do. If this vision resonates with you, if the information we're going to share resonates with you tonight, amazing. You're probably our people. Let's go to work. Let's build a more amazing life for you. Let's build a better world. Let's change the industry. We're all going to have a lot of fun. So that's my 2 cents on really why Powur. And of course, Bobby and Charles are going to get into some more of the details in a minute here when we get back to the presentation. But I want to open up the floor for David to share here, really. For all of you who don't know David, he's the CEO of Titan Solar Power. And Titan was just ranked the #1 in the solar power 2018 and 2019, I think. I believe Titan was ranked #1 in both years of top solar contractors, residential solar contractors in the nation. And you guys need to just step back and take a pause on what that means. I mean, solar is ruthlessly competitive. And to be the #1 solar contractor for 2018 and 2019, obviously this company is doing something right and is installing a boatload of solar and is making a huge difference in getting clean energy out to the world and creating clean energy jobs. So David, we're honored to have you here, man, and we're excited to hear what's the secret to Titan.
I'll write it down for you guys. That way you guys can copy it.
Okay, well, as long as it works, we're in.
I don't know if we have a secret, but we started the company 6.5 years ago. My business partner, Kyle, and I started as I was a sales guy and he was a sales manager. And we decided to start the company based on a couple of really easy principles. The companies we were working at treated the salespeople like garbage. They treated the customer like garbage. And they treated the installers like garbage. And if we said, if we do the opposite of all this, we might be successful. So it was 6.5 years ago. My business partner, Kyle, happens to be sitting across from me right now. You can't see him because the camera's only on me. But the camera loves me, so that's okay. And 6.5 years later, we're in 8 different states. And yeah, we sell about, we install about 3 megawatts a week collectively, which is obviously a lot, but doesn't mean we don't keep trying every single day. Part of our job is we fulfill the install for folks like, Powur. Powur is doing something, they're trying to disrupt the industry and we're trying to do it with them. So we still have to earn the business every single day. We've got to keep performing all the time. So just because we're a big company, we don't sit back and say, we made it. Just because I've got a nice fancy TV and I've got a fancy hat, we still work really hard for our business and we want to keep people happy with us. So I would say we're still pretty humble. We always have the impression that the business could go away at any time. So we're always scrambling to make sure you guys have the right experience.
That is why you've remained number one. Because I think the second that CEOs or companies forget that, they're often in trouble. That's really cool, man. That's really cool. So I'd love to hear, I mean, what's your vision for the solar industry and the opportunity for everybody on the line, and in particular as it pertains to all the markets that Titan's in? You know, what are you really seeing for our future here?
I think the future of the solar industry, besides being very good, I mean, I see a bright future. I think sometime, I don't know when it is, I don't know if it's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road, I think every house is going to have the opportunity to operate as its own little grid. There's going to be people that have solar, that get solar today, that in 4 years, when batteries are accessible, we're going to go back to them and have an opportunity to sell them batteries. I hate to say like it's going to be like the future, like we watch on movies, but it's going to be like the future. We're going to have houses that are completely sustainable, and solar is going to keep adapting to whatever the world puts in front of it. Solar has been around for mainstream. It's been around for about 13 years in this country as an actual industry to be in, even though it's been around longer than that, but it's a mainstream industry. And utility companies and government policies and local AHJs have been putting blockades in front of us since the beginning. And all we've been doing is selling right through that. We're just going to keep selling through that because solar energy is better than any other kind of energy. Doesn't matter if it's natural gas, nuclear, coal, even hydro. We don't have to put a big wheel in front of a bunch of running water. We can get the energy from the sun. We just put some panels out in the middle of the country. We can power the whole country from the sunlight that hits like a couple square mile area. So if we just keep doing what we're doing, we're going to make all the energy that you were talking about, Jonathan, all that sustainable energy is going to happen as long as we keep selling, and customers are going to save money, and reps are going to make money, and installers are going to make money. We have an average of 4 guys per install crew. Every 5th install crew needs a field supervisor. We're providing tons of jobs in an industry where everyone
We lost David.
It says my internet connection is unstable.
You
Sounds like Jonathan Budd, unstable.
Got stable again.
Well, I said a bunch of witty and pithy things. I hope you guys didn't miss it.
We heard. I think we heard just about everything, actually.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think a lot of the people who are on this line tonight, David, are inspired by that vision. I really hear. I hope to create that vision and really play their role in bringing that future forward. And there's no doubt that the more momentum that we create as a solar industry together, rising tide floats all boats. And the amount of jobs we're creating and the wealth being created, and it's just going to keep getting bigger and better. Now, can you talk a little bit about Titan in specific? I know we've shared, some of your journey, but what about the actual size of the company, and if we want to kind of create some confidence for all the people on the line here tonight. I know you guys have a lot of install crews, and maybe there's some more you could share about just the company's kind of size and growth plans and markets you're really excited about.
So there's some stats in the solar industry and in any company that can be said, and a customer can resonate and a salesperson can resonate with the dollars or watts. It's one thing if we say we have over 30,000 customers. That could be a big deal, but we have over 30,000 people in our system. I just did the numbers today, and if you include all deals, we're approaching $900 million in sales. So, anybody knows what a dollar is. So 900 million of those are going to flow through this company. The watts, the collective watts, it's going to be 300 megawatts, but at an average of $3 a watt. So 300 megawatts. There's some big giant numbers that come through here. The number of panels, you could take 30,000 jobs and times it by 30 panel. An average job is 30 panels. That's the number of solar panels that are going to be installed by us. We're in 8 states: California, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Texas, Florida. The next states are South Carolina, North Carolina. We own most of our buildings that we're in all markets. We only rent buildings in small markets like Tucson and Yuma, but we own in Phoenix, we own in Texas, we own in Florida. Both places, Tampa and Miami, are owners. They're purchased buildings, which means we're not planning on being in solar for a couple months and getting out. We're not looking for one-year leases. We are buying real estate because we plan on being in industry for a long time. We're also not positioning ourselves just to be sold. We're just working like we've always been working. We've been working the same way since day one. It was just Kyle and I in a 1,200 square foot office where and Kyle would go out and meet friends because you don't close real hard. And it's been the same. It's the same.
Is it me?
Oh, we just got the last piece cut out.
Technology. Give him a moment. If not, we'll.
He's back.
Am I back?
You're back.
Back, my friend. You're back. We only missed the last 15 seconds, but
How about Freddie Perez paying so much attention today? He's just laser focused, guys. Look at him. And he's got a good jolly face. Who doesn't want to know Freddie Perez? I'm excited.
way to go, Freddie.
Attaboy.
All right, my friend.
He's like, you're killing it. Yeah. Best meeting ever.
Before we lose you one more time, buddy, what do you want to say to all the Powur consultants and any message you want to share with them and about your excitement for our continued partnership forward?
I would tell any Powur rep that they're in the right place to be helping people with solar. I think Powur's platform makes the most amount of sense. You could bounce around the industry and find out that there's a lot of places that do it way wrong. So I think if anyone's selling solar right now with Powur, they made the right choice. They're in the right industry, and the customers are going to be the beneficiary. You get to help a customer save money on electricity, and you get paid for it. What a great thing to sell right now. We're in a great time to be in this industry.
Amen, my friend. Well, David, we echo all those sentiments. We're super pumped to continue to ramp up our company's growth. This was the biggest month in our history over last month, which was the biggest month in our history. So we're continuing to see month over month new ceilings be created. And we always like to take our ceiling and make it our floor and just keep doing that over and over and over again. And what's most exciting is the checks and the commissions and what people are earning who are driving that growth. And so I know, that's a big part of the reason why everyone's here tonight. So I'm going to turn the call back over to Bobby and Charles, and we're going to take you guys through the presentation of what really makes Powur different and why do you want to come partner with our company and what can we do for you. So David, thank you so much, man. Super appreciate your time.
Thank you, David.
No problem.
Thanks, man.
Game on, guys.
All right, good night. All right. Are we back? Well, folks, again, if you're listening in, I hope what you got from that, what you took away from that. Again, the CEO of the highest rated solar company in the United States of America sharing his passion and enthusiasm for why Powur is the company to join. And it just doesn't get any better than that. Combined with our CEO, Jonathan Budd, just extraordinary. Here's my favorite part. If you look around us, all of us, would you rather own a taxi cab company or stock in Uber? Would you rather own a local hotel or would you rather have stock in Airbnb? We have seen new models change the entire world, EXP in real estate, and Costco's model. Costco really makes very little money, their bottom line cost on their goods and services. Where they make money is on their platform, is on their monthly fee of all the members that are thrilled to shop at their stores because of the value that they get. And that's exactly what Powur is. We built a platform like Uber, like Airbnb, like Etsy, like EXP, like Costco, that no one in the world has built. We have something that no one has ever done before. And we are so excited to bring it out to the marketplace. And it's just logical. It's cool. It's different. Like Jonathan said, you can do it from any beach in the world, taking your kids, experiencing new things, and having the time of your life. And that's what we've built this on. There is no one in the world that has done it. There is no one in the world that's doing it. And there's no one that can catch us. We're 5 years and $10 million in. So to walk you through the money and really let you understand why this is the best opportunity for a civilian, a non-solar professional, and why we're attracting the top solar professionals in the industry around the clock. So with that, I want to give you Charles Thompson, who's a perfect example of that. 10-year energy veteran, dereg and solar, has built companies, run companies, owned companies. He's a $500,000 a year guy wherever he goes. He is a former military guy. I guess you're always a military guy. He is a Patriots fan, but hey, there's not much you can do about that. We'll just leave that alone. I get it. Him and I become good friends. You couldn't go to war. You couldn't go to work. You couldn't go to a bar. You couldn't do any of these things with a better guy than Charles Thompson. Charles, you have the ball.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. It's always an honor to be co-hosting calls with you. You are definitely an inspiration to me. You have provided amazing guidance to me, been my mentor, and best part of all, you've become my friend over these years. So thank you for all that you do. Bobby's used some terms that I want to clarify with you, and just so that we're all kind of on the same page and a benchmark. And we use the term cost of goods. That's really a model that Powur has developed. Prior to that, the term EPC, which is engineering, procurement, and construction of a job, has been more common. It's the shift that this industry has seen over the last 3 or 4 years, and it's really helped this industry kind of separate people who are really good at selling and then companies that are really good at installing. Thank you, Thomas. I see that Patriots cap. Really good at installing. We have taken and blended that. We've created the cost of goods model, and in the cost of goods model, we become the procurement arm of the equipment that reduces that overall cost of goods, and we pass that benefit on to each of us as consultants. And Powur gives us a 70-30 split. So we get that baseline, that red line, or cost of goods, whatever terms you might be familiar with. And I'll show you an actual dollar symbol that goes with that. So if you're not familiar with some of these terms, don't worry about that. Just look at the dollar signs, because that's really how we can always translate. And as we drive that volume, and we've already seen that, started to see significant drops in actual cost of goods in models as we drive that volume. So as we work together as a community, collectively bringing that cost down, we are the ones who receive the majority of the benefit. And Bobby mentioned, I'm field. I'm not corporate. I work just like you do. I just have been doing this for a little while, and honored to kind of serve in somewhat of a union rep for you. I'm the voice of the field for you. So I like to talk about it from a field perspective. So we'll kind of break this down and look at what that comes down to. This is a model in Florida and Texas. It's called the cost of goods at $1.95, or look at the dollar sign. It's $19,500 for what is typical system there is a 10 kW or a 10,000 watt system. Sold at $3.50. This is an actual breakdown of a deal, or sold at $35,000. There are typical adders that go into a system. Adders could be, we have to replace the main electrical panel. We do financing. Financing costs money. Money costs money. All of those different things are added to that cost of goods that you see. So add 70 cents to that $1.95 and sell it at $3.50. Well, then you come up with what the actual net revenue is. In this particular case, it was 85 cents per watt, or $8,500. From there, we do a rev split. We, the field, get 70% of that money, or roughly $5,950 in this particular case. Powur gets the remaining 30%. But we'll talk about what happens to that 30%, because Powur actually puts half of that back into a team building compensation plan. So this income here we're talking about is called active income, income that's derived from you actively selling solar, which I love to do every single day. And this commission was an actual real commission of $5,950. Powur has a minimum revenue requirement of $1,500, which obviously comes out of this number here. If you get down to lower revenues, then Powur has to meet the minimum commitments that we have as a company. Here's some actual examples. Now, this is a kind of a little higher price per watt in the state of Texas, which is where this particular case was, but it had some extenuating circumstances. Had a main panel upgrade, had a very different structural stamp, so it had some additional costs. I think the most important thing is to look at the walkaway commission that consultant saw in this deal. Probably put 2 hours of his time into this particular sale. Now, I'm not saying you make that every single hour, but for the hours that you actually produce the type of sales, look at the revenue. The most important thing to look at is who's in control. We as consultants are in control of that cost. So we have our wholesale, our cost of goods, our baseline number. We sell it at what the cost, what the deal will actually yield, and then we get the lion's share of that revenue. Another example, this was a very competitive situation in Southern California where we were coming up a bunch of other companies, and it was sold at a price much less than what the market typically will bear. Most important thing to point out is look at the commission that the consultant walked away with. The key thing there is most companies wouldn't even have sold at that, but the consultant was empowered to sell at the rate that he, in this particular case, felt was appropriate, and look at the walkaway commission, even on a price that most companies wouldn't have sold because of the cost of goods model. So that's the active income side of things. The real beauty of this model, if you desire to build a team, we have what's called passive income, and you get a direct correlation piece of that revenue share. You saw in that the slide that talked about the different platforms. EXP came out after a company called Keller Williams. Keller Williams really dominated the residential industry for real estate. They did something called a profit share. So they said, if you want to come sell homes with us, and you're empowered to help other agents sell homes, and you get a portion of the profit. Exploded growth. EXP came along and said, we like that, but here's something different. Rather than giving you what's left over after we've spent the money, we're going to give you a direct piece of that revenue. So you know exactly what you're going to make, not what's left over. And they called it revenue share. That model resonated with us. And what we do is for every consultant that you enroll in your organization, to your front line, this person who's directly worked with you, you don't even have to do a lot of training with this individual. You plug that individual into the system, they start to sell. When they sell, you earn 20% of the revenue that Powur takes in on that sale. So remember, I said they take 30% of the revenue, they put half of that over into a compensation plan, encouraging you to team build. And if you take a look at those numbers, it can significantly add up. So you have the ability to have passive income, not only on your frontline people who you want to enroll into the company, but as they duplicate that behavior, you can then leverage a compensation plan that is tiered down as many as 6 levels, generations, tiers, whatever terminology you want to utilize. It is a game changer for those of us who just want to be able to eventually perhaps stop selling. And this creates that passive income. This is where you can actually see a pathway to potentially 7-figure income as you build a true organization in addition to your active income. Active income, what you sell. Passive income, what other people sell. And then I'll talk about a third stream of income in a moment. But here's how those numbers kind of break down. Someone who's directly enrolled by you, your average override on their deals. You have no responsibility to manage them. Whatever role you want to play with them is up to you. And you earn about $550. As they duplicate that behavior, as they start to build a team, they're earning $550. You're earning $275 on the efforts of the person they sponsored or enrolled. And then it just goes down as many as 6 generations. And this is where you potentially don't even know the names of these individuals here, and you're earning passive income on every installation that they generate within your entire organization. That's where your passive income comes in. The third stream of income is called mentorship income. And we recognized when we launched this out with such a dynamic compensation plan that we were going to find professional salespeople from all sorts of industry, home security, anybody who's selling in a home. This is a perfect opportunity for them, but they need to learn the process. They need to learn how to sell solar in this case. So we established a mentorship program that is paid training, for lack of better words. managed and facilitated by the company, no side deals. You bring someone onto your organization, or anyone else in the organization chooses you as a mentor, you 50-50 commission split. The policy is that anyone who has not sold solar, their first 3 contracts is done with a mentor. If someone has sold solar, it's possible for us to waiver them and just have it their first contract. Not that they necessarily need to learn how to sell solar. They need to be comfortable to learn how to use the process and not skin their shins and stub their toes. This is the third stream of income. If you collectively put those 3 together, active income, those sales that you create, passive income, your team building income, and your mentorship income, that is a pathway to 7-figure income. The beautiful thing about mentorship is if that's someone you enrolled in the company, not only you 50-50 commission splitting, but you're overriding the sales that they make as well. The icing on the cake is what we call the ownership plan. That was another thing that EXP did. They said, why would you even think about going and selling for another real estate company? Well, why would you think about going and selling for another solar company? On your first installation, you get 100 stock options in the company. As you create duplication, the individuals you directly enroll, they get 100 options, you get 50 off of their efforts as well. And then there's incentives for having performance. As you hit 25 installs in a calendar year, that's 1,000 options. As you create 50 installs in a calendar year, that's 1 a week, you get 5,000 options. That's game changer. What does that mean? Well, the only thing, by the way, you also get public, as we go public, you'll get discounted options as we do go public. How do you validate that? How do you put a dollar figure to it? I'm just giving you my personal opinion. I'm not a stock advisor. All I know is I look at companies like Solar City, who went through $6 billion and never struck a profit. Direct Energy, a $17 billion company who could not profit on rooftop solar. NRG, a $14 billion company, and on and on and on. Sungevity, Sun this, Sun that. There's hundreds and hundreds of companies. There's not, to my knowledge, a national footprint solar company who's figured out how to do everything. We bootstrap this business. So Powur comes along, and in 5 years, they bootstrap the business. They become profitable, we, as investors in the company. What is that going to mean to Wall Street when a national company has figured out how to take this, scale it, and go national? It's a game changer. I personally believe you've got the potential of 3 to 400x the value of that stock as you exercise those options. Well, I can say all that. You can have the best income, you can have the best passive, you can have stock options, but if you don't have the solutions to help you succeed, then it's all in vain. And we do. We have live daily training sessions. Every Monday through Friday, you can tap into some live daily session. You tap into an 1.5-hour session, take a test. You're then certified to use the platform, and then just jump into different training modules that we have. More and more of those are being developed as we grow and scale as a company. And as our CEO turns his attention, Jonathan made tens of millions of dollars in his early 20s. He hasn't even turned on the lead generation program yet. When he does, when he goes back, and what do you make his money doing? Online marketing. So as he turns his attention to online marketing, we have that program. As when we're ready for it, it's one that I'll be the first one to have my hand in the air, wanted to opt into that program. These are just an example of so many things that we have. And then as a company, the culture that we have, the personal transformation, the team building, skill building, wealth creation, it's all culminated. This is actually not a worship session. This is a dance party. We were having a blast in Las Vegas. And then if you look at that, after we have our good time, we stretch out, we have a great time, we get down, and we actually get into personal transformation. Look at some of the names in our company, like Jim Bunch, one of our co-founders. Google him. He's a legend in the personal transformation world. One of the people who lead those types of events that we have. And the technology. So no matter what you've ever sold, just imagine putting in just a couple pieces of information and uploading an electric bill. And then you get a link to a dynamic proposal that within that proposal, you can change what system design looks like. You can change the types of panels. You can change the size of the system. You can change what the consumption of energy that estimated for that home. You can credit check the customer from clicking on a link. You can go from credit check directly to contract processing, all in a dynamic proposal that you get back in less than 30 minutes. You can do a one-step close if that's the practice that you'd like to have. Beyond that, you look at the real-time activities of what we have for not only the proposals, but contract generation, financing, and then the platform that manages everything under one roof. So if you're used to wanting to sell in multiple markets, you don't have to manage EPCs. The platform does all that through the project management team and does all the accounting, the operations, pays daily. So if the money hits our account by 5 p.m., it's in your account the same day. I love sitting here as I did as the call started, gutting a "you've got money" basically text message that comes up. That's the way it's paid, daily. And if you're building a team, then those commissions are paid out weekly. All that's administered the company. You don't have to have the teams that handle that. You don't have to have a CPA. You don't have to have somebody on staff to manage all that. That's all part of the platform. And you can sell in 22 states. Admittedly, we're laser focused on California, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Florida, but all of these blue states we can sell. And in all of these markets, except for Illinois, we do that dynamic proposal that you can utilize. You can sit in home with someone, or you can sit on a Zoom like I do many times per week, enrolling people in a better way to get their power. That pretty much summarizes what this program's all about. And it all entails, you look at the revenue shares that we get, the commissions that we have, a 70-30 split, the equity ownership in the company, the 6 generational revenue sharing for team builders, if that's what you desire. You might think that comes with a pretty hefty price tag in terms of a license fee or a franchise fee or something along those lines. And the reality, it comes with a very minimal one-time onboarding fee of $99. We all contribute monthly $49 for the technology. The technology is the game changer, the API interfaces, everything that it takes to help this company scale. The company's operating on 15%. That's tough to have squeeze that tight of a margin into a profitable company, but we've done it. So the additional development as we grow, it's going to come in a membership base, like what we have. Bobby talked about Costco, the membership program they have. Very similar. We contribute into that technology cost. That's how we fuel this company and grow this company and scale this company as we go. So with that said, we're talking to 2 audiences today, those who are listening live to the call today and those who are listening to a recorded version. If you're listening to a recorded version, get back to whoever sent you to this particular recording, get your questions answered, and then enroll in the company and plug yourself into the training program. If you'd like to come back and listen to a live event, you're welcome to do that every Monday. For those who are listening live, stand by. What we're going to do is we're going to stop the recording, and then we'll go ahead and take your questions before we wrap up. Let me stop the recording and stand by.